Hello everyone and welcome back! In the last lesson we had our sample application up and running. So let's do a quick guided tour of this application. Let's then start with the client part and then we're going to move over to the server. So this is the home page of our application. It simply displays here a list of lessons. There are about 10 of them. We have here the description and the duration. So this data here is unprotected, it's publicly accessible. We just have to have the URL in order to be able to see this data. We also have here a couple of screens that we will be using in the first section of this course. So the first functionality that we are about to implement is the sign up functionality, where the user will be creating an account based on email and password, and after that, we will be implementing the login functionality, everything related to authentication of the user. So this is the screen that we will be using for that. Let's now see where this lessons data it's coming from. So if we jump into the application root component, we're going to see here that we have here some routing configuration. So this part here is being defined here inside the router outlet. And we are here in the /lessons path. So based on the routing configuration, the router outlet is being here replaced by this lessons component. And if we have a look at it, we can see that the lessons are coming here from this lessons service via this method called load all lessons. And we are defining here an observable of lesson array. If we look inside the component template of the lessons component, we can see here that the lessons observable is being subscribed to using the Angular async pipe. And that's how we are rendering all the lessons on the screen. Now going back here to our lessons component, let's see where this data is coming from. So it's coming here from the lessons service. So this is using the new Angular HTTP client that provides a more type-safe API. So for example here, this data here is being retrieved via this method, load all lessons. So we are specifying here a generic parameter that is going to ensure that the observable returned here by this get call is going to be an observable of lesson array. So whenever we assign it here to this variable lessons $, there will be type checking in place to make sure that our code is correct. So for example, if we would forget to add here the array symbol and it would be only a single lesson, immediately we would get here an error thrown by the Angular CLI. So this new HTTP client will allow us to write more type-safe code. This is doing a call here to this URL /API/lessons. And as we have seen, we have here some proxy configuration that is saying that all HTTP requests, like these ones here that all start with /API, all these HTTP requests starting with this prefix are going to be redirected to our server that it's running here on port 9000. Let's have a quick look here at our server. So if we go here to the package.json, and here we can see that the entry point of our server is the server.ts file that is available right here inside the server folder. So let's quickly review the server implementation. So it's simply an express server. We are checking here at the beginning for the presence of a secure flag that we are passing in here in our package.json. And depending on the presence of this flag, which is actually with a default value of true, what we're going to do here is we are going to define a couple of routes. So right now at this point, we only have this route defined. And depending on the value of the secure flag, we're going to either start an HTTPS server or simply an HTTP server. So during the course, we will be using the HTTPS server. We are using these certificates here for the server. So if by any reason you need to run your server in plain HTTP mode, you simply have to go here to your package.json and remove this. In principle, this will not be necessary and we will do all our course in HTTPS mode. Now let's have a look at where on the server is this data coming from. So if we jump into this read all lessons route, we're going to see that we are retrieving the lessons data here from this in-memory database the read all lessons method that belongs here to this database instance. Let's quickly have a look. So this is a very simple implementation of a database. We will be using an in-memory database that is going to be reset with each server start. This has a couple of advantages. It's very simple to understand and we can focus on the security aspects of the application itself. Also, each time that you restart the server, you will have valid data. We can see that all the database data is coming from this file here. So this is just a plain TypeScript file that exports a couple of constants where the data is available. So later in this course, we will be seeing how to display the video of each lesson on the screen. But right now, let's start straight away implementing security on this application. Here is our starting point. Let's implement the sign up functionality and see how can we create users for an application. This is coming right up in the next few lessons.